Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Anita, and I am coming at you today with a retrospective. We are going to look back at my summer of 2024 and my favorite pen and ink pairings of the summer. How I got to it was I went through my currently inked, I looked at the notes I made at the end of the month, as well as other notes that I've started to keep about how the pen performed, over time. And I came up with my top 10 pens of the summer. Let's get into it. All right, the first pen on the list, and this is in no particular order, is the Asvine V200. This pen is in the colorway Transparent Teal. It's got a medium nib, and my combo of choice, which was the only one I've used so far in this pen, is Anderillium's Purple Gallinule Purple. I love this. This was my first vac filler pen. All my other pens have either been piston fillers or cartridge converter pens. And I wanted to try out a vac filler for the low before I invested in a gold nib higher end like a Pilot Custom 823. So I picked this up and I love it. The vac filler is fun. Can I just say that? I totally enjoy it. It's just, I get a kick out of it. If I can get my little joys from filling a pen, yeah, I'm down for it. Okay. Anyway, the pen was smooth out of the box. And if you ever pick this pen up or any other pen on Amazon and it's not what you want, send it back. Ask them to replace it. Do not hesitate because they will take it back. But yes, this one was great. And the ink was nicely lubricated in this pen. It was a nice wet writer, but not a gusher. It was just right in the sweet spot. And I totally enjoyed it. And I am looking forward to figuring out what color to put in there next. But I purposely picked purple so I could see the contrast. Usually I go for a match, but I wanted to be able to really see the ink. And the purple was a nice choice. I really love that. The next pen on the list is the Visconti Mirage Mythos in the colorway Poseidon. This pen has a medium nib and it was inked with Waterman Inspired Blue. Some point, I think maybe in the spring or very early summer, I decided that I needed to be consistent with the inks I would put into new pens to see how they perform. And I discovered Inspired Blue by Waterman, watching a video by Simone, and I didn't realize they had such pretty blues that didn't look like the kind of blue you get from like a big ballpoint pen or something. The Inspired Blue is a beautiful turquoise and I love it. I could put it in every pen that it would match with and I would be happy until I'm ready to switch to like a teal. I love teals and turquoises. But anyway, the combination was just a joy to write with. The pen was nicely smooth right out of the box. And it was a beautiful introduction to the Visconti brand, and I look forward to exploring the brand more as the spirit hits me. But this pen, which I pondered over, this model, the Mirage Mythos, I'd been thinking about it for months, but couldn't decide on a color. And when this new color came out, I just said, I'll get that one. So yes, and I totally love it with the Waterman Inspired Blue. The pen is beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Highly recommend it. Next pen will be no surprise if you've been looking at any of my currently inked videos. It is the Visconti Leonardo Momento Zero Grande in the colorway Planetary Nebula. This is a limited edition pen and it's got a medium nib. And it is still currently inked with Pelikan Edelstein Apatite. I love this combination. I just decided beginning this month, September, that I would no longer have this in my currently inked until I change the ink, because I've literally had the same ink in here since I got the pen back in April. I believe it was April. I have notes somewhere. Of course, I wrote them down and then I lost them. But yes, I've had the same ink in there probably for 5 months at least. And I absolutely love it. I love the combination. It's just right. And yeah, it's really just going to stay inked with this ink until it runs out and I pick another ink that matches the pen. And then you all will hear about it because I will add it to my lineup with the new ink, and we'll see how that ink performs in the pen. But I have absolutely loved it. Yes, I picked up the pen in March and I put it in my lineup in April. So we are 5 months into this combination and I still love it and I am not tired of it. It's beautiful. Okay, the next pen is the TWSBI Eco in Persian Green. This pen has a medium nib and it is still currently inked with a custom mix of Waterman inks to make the color teal. I wanted something to match the pen. I made a combination of Inspired Blue and Harmonious Green to come up with a color that I liked. And of course, it's nicely lubricated and I just love writing with it. And honestly, I think there is a pattern here with these pens and inks. I really love teals and turquoises. I really, really, really do. And so far, none of the inks have had any shimmer, which kind of surprised me, but not really, only because I don't have to have a shimmer to be happy, but I really need some shading because I love shading. It just lights me up. So this has been a lovely combination. It's well lubricated and I'm in the process of writing it dry. Have I refilled it at all? No, but I filled it up. When I came up with the mix, I filled it up because I absolutely loved it. So yeah, we're still going strong with this combination for about 2 months. I think we're into month 3 now in September, but is it still in my lineup? No, I took it out, but I am writing it dry. I love it. It's so great. All right, the next pen is buried. Here we go. The Laban 325. This pen has a broad nib. The colorway is Sakura, and it is still currently inked with Diamine Cashmere Rose. I have had maybe 2 other inks in here, definitely 1 other. Robert Oster Pink Squirrel is one. Ooh, Lord, we almost had a tragedy, y'all. And that was dry. I didn't like that. It was pretty, but it was also kind of dry. Did not enjoy it. So I did not keep that going. I love Cashmere Rose in this pen. I love the ink. I committed to a full bottle. I discovered that ink when it came out in the Inkvent calendar from Diamine in 2023. And it is just wonderful in this pen, just visually. It's just so pretty. I love it. I love pinks. Not so much to write with, but I love Cashmere Rose. I got a 50 ml bottle. I'm committed. And I love the combination. It's just been beautiful. And I have the pen off to the side. I'm writing it dry. And the ink may come back in a different pen, but my Laban and Sakura is going away to come back when it's spring again, because to me, it's just a summery springtime kind of pen. That's just the way my brain works. We're halfway through. Next pen up on the list is the Franklin Christoph Intrinsic Model 2. This colorway is a Vanness exclusive. I discovered this pen watching a video by Kristen on Life Inspires Designs channel, and oh my goodness, I saw the color and I'm like, oh, I love that color. That's so cool. I like how the finials look. And she's saying all these wonderful things about the pen. It's like, I want that pen. And I realized it was probably going to be limited. I ordered it right away. I ordered it on Friday night and Vanness, about 3 states away. Had it in my hot little hands on Monday morning. I am in love with this pen. Oh my goodness. It's so good. I did some reading. This is how committed. This is getting me out of my funk. This is pen therapy, y'all. This is my pen therapy. I was so blown away writing with this pen. And after what I'd learned from watching Kristen's video, I went onto the Franklin Christoph website and I got all into their history. And I wish they were still in Georgia. They were just down the highway from me once upon a time. But long before I got into fountain pens, they moved to North Carolina, which is still not too far away. And the pen and the ink. Oh, the ink, right? Sorry, it's inked with Wearingeul Wayfarer. This is a shimmer ink. It is a lovely teal ink with a blue shimmer, and it shades and it's beautiful. And I didn't think it would be a problem. I had it in an SD for a couple of months, summer of 2023. So I said, we'll see how it does in this pen. I usually don't go for a shimmer and a new pen right away, but I did with this and it was great. It's been great. It's still inked. I love it. Franklin Christoph sends their nibs out tuned and smooth. Y'all, they have my heart. I have never had a nib with care like that. I do my own tweaking. I have not seen a nibsmith yet. And to get a pen that writes the way this writes, my mind is blown. And I'll leave it there. The next pen is on the list because it was such a surprise. It snuck up on me. The Conklin 1898 Misto Orange. This pen has a medium nib, as do all the pens, actually, except for the Laban. I couldn't get that in medium. They didn't have any, and I took the broad. But I digress. The Conklin medium nib Misto Orange is currently inked and in my currently inked lineup in September with Diamine Terracotta. The ink is gorgeous. It's average flow. It feels nice coming out of this medium nib, and I had no expectations for this pen. I didn't know if I'd love it, hate it. I didn't have any preconceived notions. I was like, wow, this is really pretty good, especially for half price. Maybe that makes it a little better for me. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I feel really good having gotten it for half price at the Atlas last chance sale. And the combination has been beautiful. I love it. Orange and blue is dynamite. That was like my school cheer back in the day. Yeah, I was a cheerleader. Haha. Anyway, that's another story for another day. But our school colors were orange and blue. And this combination is just, it's so good. It's just so good. And I love it. I was surprised how much I liked it because those are not really, none of it is stuff I really go for. And it was all really good. So yeah, that says a lot. Next pen on the list, number 8, is the Diplomat Aero. This pen has a medium nib and it is also inked, as it is currently in the month of September with Diamine Cashmere Rose. I wanted to see what this ink would be like in a finer nib. I have not used Cashmere Rose in any other pen yet. So I wanted to try it in a medium nib. So when I got this pen and I'm thinking what will kind of match it, I said, I know what, I'll use Cashmere Rose. We'll see what it's like in something different. This pen has been wonderful. The nib is wonderful. The ink flows well. And I just like playing with it. I like the way the pen feels. And I like the way it writes. And the nib is cute. It's got that little, like, can you see it? That little daisy flower looking thing. I don't know. It's really so cute. I can't see the nib when I'm writing, but I am all over the place like a squirrel. I love the pen. I love the ink. I love the ink. 50 ml bottle. I'm just saying. So yes, that is the Diplomat Aero, an antique rose with a medium nib with Diamine Cashmere Rose. Number 9. I gushed about this when it was in my currently inked. The TWSBI Eco in Saffron. This pen also has a medium nib, and it was currently inked with, dun dun dun, because I've forgotten the name, Robert Oster Whiskey. This was another awesome combination. I like the color, kind of a golden kind of color. The ink, I was like, oh, that'll match nicely, but I really love the way it wrote. Nicely lubricated, the ink flowed well. The TWSBIs, they seal really well. I didn't have any hard starts or skips. It's just been so good, and I just love the way it looked. I love whiskey so much. I'm going to get a bottle. It's on my mental list of bottles to get, and I don't have many bottles there because I like so many, but Robert Oster Whiskey is on the list. And just one more pen. The last pairing is, ta-da, the Asvine V200 in titanium. This pen has a medium nib, and it is still currently inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Kosumosu. Oh boy, I love demonstrators. I like seeing how things work, like the inner workings, especially, you know, a vac filler, because you got a whole piston in there in a different way than what you have in like this kind of piston. Because, you know, this is just, you know, twist. This is a vacuum piston situation. You pull it out. It's like a whole thing. It's so fun. That's neither here nor there. The Kosumosu in this pen, and I purposely put a lighter ink so I can kind of see it doing its thing in there. I didn't know if I was going to love it because I'd used Tsutsuji the month before. I had a sample of it, and I was like, oh, I really like this. I want to get a bottle. And I wasn't in a rush to get a bottle until I found out it was being discontinued. Then I hurried up and got a bottle. But Kosumosu, I just happened to come across on the secondhand market. Someone was selling a bottle that they'd never used. And so I bought it. I was like, well, I'll try that too. It looks like a, you know, a softer pink, and I love it. And it's wonderful in this pen. The Iroshizuku inks are wonderful. They're nicely lubricated and not problematic. They look beautiful. They shade. All the ones I've used, they shade so nicely, especially the more intense colors. I think I have, I don't know, maybe a handful of bottles. I have 3 of the smaller ones. I forget the size that they are. Maybe they're 20, 30 mil, 15. I really don't remember. So let's stop guessing. I have 3 small ones, and I have 3 of the 50 mil bottles, and I love them all. They're so good. And then I have samples of other colors. Honestly, I just want all of them. But it's so funny. The large bottles, all the colors I love are being discontinued. What is that about? Anyway, this combination is wonderful. It's lovely. It's well lubricated. The ink flows well. The pen has been unproblematic. It's just been, I just love looking at it. I love the weight of it. I love writing with it. I've just loved it. And yeah, I've got 1 shimmer ink in the bunch. All the rest are standard inks. They shade beautifully. Funny enough, all my nibs are medium. I have 1 broad. All the others are medium. I have no stubs, even though I love those. But I don't think I used too much of that this summer. It just didn't work out that way. The pens that I gravitated toward were, it was by color. I looked for the colors that I wanted to use and then found inks that went with those colors. And they just happened to be mediums that were my favorite. And trust me, I have lots of TWSBIs, and I have many more broad and stub nibs than I have mediums. But needless to say, this has been it. It's been a wonderful summer. These have been my absolute favorites. And that's not to say the others were bad, because I know I've used Estes, I've used other Leonardos, I've used wonderful pens, and they were all good, but these just stuck out for one reason or another as these are really good. And I realize as I look at them, it's a combination of the good writing experience as well as the visual appeal, because I look at it and I just love looking at it, and then I pick it up and write with it, and I love writing with it. So it's both. It's really both. So yes, this has been my top 10 pens for the summer of 2024. I hope maybe you discovered something in checking this out. I will have all the pens that I can link down below in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.